this is going to be sort of a strange topic. I'm going to talk to you guys about hair loss and something that's called telogen effluvium. Now, I'd never heard of telogen effluvium until I actually experienced it myself. And so I had to do the research on it because I had to figure out like why I was shedding so much hair. So sometime back in February, seemed to be out of the blue, like totally all of a sudden, I started shedding a ton of hair, like especially when I was in the shower, because I detangle my hair in the shower. So when I was detangling my hair in the shower, in my hairbrush, like clumps of hair was coming out. I would say probably between 2 and 3 times more than normal was coming out in my hairbrush. And these hairs were not like damaged hair, or these were like healthy hair. Like I was like, I'm losing healthy hair. So I know what you're probably thinking, Tracy, you have a ton of hair, you can stand to lose some. And yeah, that's true. I will say that I probably have, or had at least at one point in time, enough hair for about 4 or 5 people. So you really can't tell that I've lost a lot of hair, but I'm telling you that I have. I've definitely lost enough hair for like one head, I would say. So I was trying to figure out why I was losing, all this hair for no reason. And I thought it was because I'd switched shampoo and conditioner. I started trying out the new Argan Cream Conditioner by Organics. And I hate that stuff, by the way. I don't use it. It smells terrible. But I'm not usually that sensitive when it comes to switching up hair care, like shampoo, conditioner, hair products. Like my hair doesn't react by shedding. It'll react by dryness or what have you, but it doesn't react by shedding. So I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Even though I went back to using something that was like tried and true for me, that I used for years and years and years, I went back to using that because I was like, okay, maybe let me just go back to using something that I know works for my hair. And that was not stopping any of this shedding. So I was like, okay. So I started just Googling whatever, and it led me on a rabbit trail like I'm normally on. And I discovered this thing called telogen effluvium. Now, telogen effluvium is something that happens to your hair, like you start shedding. It's basically just a shedding of a whole bunch of hair, or hair loss, that's caused by your body going into shock for some reason. So you can get telogen effluvium from like having a baby or being pregnant, because your hormones are all out of whack. You can get it if you're ill, if you have a sickness, or you're on some sort of medication, or you can get it if you've recently changed your diet or lost a ton of weight. And I drastically changed my diet sometime at the end of October, towards the beginning of November. I stopped eating grains. So I just cold turkey stopped. I don't eat rice or bread or any wheat product, any rice product, nothing like that. I cut everything. I cut like processed sugar, processed food, grains and stuff out of my diet. So I think my body was in shock because, again, I just did it cold turkey, and it decided that it was just going to go through this process of renewing itself through telogen effluvium. So what I was experiencing as hair loss was actually sort of a new growth or a regrowth of my hair, because let me explain how telogen effluvium works. You have in your hair 2 types of follicles. There are anagen follicles, and then there are telogen follicles. About 85% of the follicles that are in your head are anagen, and then about 15% are telogen. The anagen follicles are the ones that are growing the hair. So those are the ones that have hair being produced. Hair is growing healthily out of those follicles. The telogen follicles are like follicles that have fallen asleep. So, and it's normal for everybody to have these telogen follicles in their hair. That's why when you brush your hair or when you comb your hair, you do see some hair fall out because of the telogen follicles. What happens is the anagen follicles go through a cycle of about 4 years, and then after 4 years, they become telogen follicles. And just the way that hair is, again, you have 85% healthy and 15% that are asleep. So the ones that are healthy turn into sleepy ones, and then they just stop producing hair for a while. Underneath of the telogen follicle, you have another anagen follicle like rebuilding itself. And so as that anagen follicle rebuilds itself and starts to grow new hair, what it does is it pushes the telogen follicle out of the scalp, and so that is how that one hair that is attached to the telogen follicle will shed away. So that's why, again, we are shedding hair naturally. Normal people shed about 100 to 150 hairs a day because the anagen follicles are pushing out all of the telogen follicles. Now, when something drastic happens in your life and your hormones are out of whack, or you have an autoimmune disease, or you change your diet, or you lose a lot of weight, then your body sort of goes into shock and wants to reset itself. And it can throw off the balance of this anagen versus telogen hair follicles in your scalp, and it will change the scalp cycle for just a little bit. So that's why, even though I cut out the grains in my diet at the end of October, I didn't start seeing the effects of this telogen effluvium until I would say at the beginning of February. So it's about 3 months, right? So November, December, January. Yeah, so about 3 months, which is typical. If you change your diet or you lose weight or you have a baby or something like that, you usually have to wait about 3 months to start seeing this telogen effluvium take effect. You start to see it. So that's why in February I started to notice all this hair that was coming out. Now it is completely, I don't want to say it's normal, but I want to say that it's completely self-correcting. That there's no reason for you to be alarmed if you're experiencing this. Like if you have changed your diet or you've lost a lot of weight or you just had a baby or whatever, this is a completely normal thing. Your body is just regrowing hair in a different way. So you're going to get your hair back. It's just going to take about 6 to 9 months before you start to see that fullness come back. Now again, I have a lot of hair. I still do not have, thin hair by any stretch of the imagination, but for some people this can be a really great cause for concern because they don't have a lot of hair. They might already have thin hair, and so when they start to lose hair, they start to see, little patches in their scalp. The way that it works though is that you don't find like a bald spot. It sort of works all over your head because the telogen follicles are all over your head. So you'll see hair shedding, but it's not going to be like in one concentrated area. But again, if you don't have a lot of hair and you already have thin hair to begin with, well then you're going to see, some thinning of the hair in a lot of different places. So what I started to do was, aside from researching and figuring out what I could do, is I got some things that could stimulate the scalp. So I got that Dr. Miracle's Curl Care conditioner that has the menthol in it, because I put that on my hair as a conditioner and then I leave it in for 5 minutes to just sort of allow the tingle to draw blood to my scalping, and then I would rinse it off. I'd rinse with hot water and then I'd rinse with cool water, again, to just get the circulation going on in my scalp. So I started doing that. I didn't read that anywhere. I just figured it would be good. There's nothing you can do. When I was reading it, they were saying that there's really nothing you can take, like nothing topical that you can do, or you can't like go and get Rogaine or anything like that, because it's a natural thing that your body's doing. You just have to like ride the wave, because eventually it will self-correct itself and you'll get most of your hair back, if not all. Again, I don't mind so much because I have a lot of hair, so I'm not like worried that I'm not going to get my hair back. But they said that if you looked really closely at your scalp, you'd probably see some little hair follicles starting to grow, but that just would take too much time, so I haven't done that. Another thing that I started doing was I started taking biotin.